Welcome back. We'll turn to this story. The U.S. Justice Department has reportedly opened a criminal investigation into the Austin, Texas-based biotech company Cassava Sciences. According to an exclusive Reuters report here on your screen, the investigation centering around this, whether or not Cassava Sciences manipulated research results for its experimental Alzheimer's drug, allegedly misleading and defrauding investors, government agencies, or consumers in this process. Cassava, worth noting, has denied any wrongdoing in this. Joining us now to weigh in is former FDA Associate Commissioner and President of the Center for Medicine in the Public Interest, Peter Pitts, live in the studio. Peter, thank you so much for coming on. Your thoughts on this investigation overall? I'm sure you've been following this along.
Well, there are a couple of things that are troubling. Firstly, if the data is correct, this drug is very exciting. It stops the production of amyloid plaque, and it actually returns cognition to Alzheimer's patients, 6 million Alzheimer's patients in the U.S. at present. The allegation is that the company manipulated data in a publication, the very prestigious publication called Science. And clearly that has stock market implications. It could be securities fraud. For me, the real issue also is, did they give the FDA skewed data? And if that's the case, that's bad for lots of reasons as well. Most notably is the drug won't fulfill its promise and won't get approved.
And going back to this report, again, this coming from Reuters and Reuters sources, the investigation began sometime after August 2021. A petition was filed to the FDA to halt those clinical trials that we were talking about there of their Alzheimer's drug. This is Simufilum, is the name of Simufilum. Cassava received more than $20 million from the NIH to support the development of Simufilum. What do you make of the alleged role of the NIH in this process, if that is indeed true?
Well, NIH gave to Cassava and its academic partners $20 million to pursue development of this drug. And if the company, made false statements about that data, it's also defrauding, I believe, the government, and people will lose faith in programs that the government funds. So it's got broader implications.
Why, in your opinion, why would a company want to skew data? What would be the reasons for something like that?
Well, let me think about that for a minute. Oh, money. So, clearly if they're going to report data that is better than it is in reality, it's going to bump their stock up. And Cassava was one of the best performing stocks, I think, of any stock once that positive data was released. So there's that issue. The second issue is they felt the data wasn't strong enough to get FDA approval. But fooling the FDA with made up data never works. They always get caught.
Does the data that is alleged here to be false or tampered with, I should say, does that have anything to do with the drug and it actually working?
Well, when the clinical trial results first came out, the drug didn't hit its endpoint. They went back, they reanalyzed the data and found out that in fact it did. Now this is not usual, but it's not unusual. Data is reanalyzed all the time. The question becomes in the publication, did they hype the data even beyond that?
Yeah. Let's broaden this out if we can. Aside from the investigation, Alzheimer's has really touched the lives of so many families, countless families, really. And the way that the process of deteriorating who the person is just a sad sight. Are you encouraged by any of these results, by Simufilum, by the simple fact of we may be able to cure Alzheimer's? Is that something you're encouraged by?
I am. I mean, Alzheimer's is a cruel disease, and if you are to believe the data, it actually stops the production of amyloid plaque. Simufilum does, and it gives patients back lost cognition. That's amazing. So I'm concerned that this might bury an otherwise highly effective and very exciting drug.
Right. Again, Reuters exclusive there, diving into that with Peter Pitts, former FDA Associate Commissioner. It's always good to see you. Thank you, Peter. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Got it.
Hey guys, it's Rob Carson. I want to tell you about the Patriot Gold Group, but first, let me tell you that the S&P has already lost $8.2 trillion in 2022. Did you know that? Peak inflation is not even hit despite the Fed rate hikes on groceries, on gas. You know it as well as I do. Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs are warning of another 20% drop. Inflation is winning in a knockout right now. The Fed is going to raise rates again at the end of July. Meanwhile, Goldman, Wells Fargo, and Bloomberg are all forecasting gold to surpass all-time highs. If you want to invest in gold, call 888-936-2373 now. Call the Patriot Gold Group today and ask about their no-fee-for-life IRA. Sounds like a good deal, don't it? Here's the number, 888-936-2373. 888-936-2373. 888-936-2373 for the Patriot Gold Group.